UFC 286 is going down this weekend to be headlined by Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman 3, and here are my quick pick predictions for the full card. Starting with the early prelim opener of Juliana Miller versus Veronia Macedo. I'm gonna go with Juliana Miller to get the win here. She's on good form, she's just won the Ultimate Fighter. Veronia Macedo is 1-4 in her last 5. And let's be honest, she's a bit of a part-timer. So I do think Juliana Miller is going to get the win here. Then we have Herbert versus Ludovit Klein. Herbert can be a bit hit and miss. He tends to make some questionable decisions in fights, which get him finished. Ludovit Klein's a bit more well-rounded, mixes his martial arts very well. He beat Mason Jones last time out, who I think is a very good fighter. Herbert beat Kyle Nelson, who I don't think is as good. So for this one, I am going to take Ludovit Klein to get it done, likely by decision. Then we have Jake Hadley versus Malcolm Gordon. Jake Hadley last time out finished Carlos Candelario. Malcolm Gordon last time out got submitted by Mokaev. I think Hadley mixes his martial arts better than Gordon does. He certainly has better striking. His grappling is very good. He's very dangerous off his back of his submissions. So I do think Jake Hadley is going to get the win here. Then we have Joanne Wood versus Luana Carolina. And this fight, for some crazy reason, was the featured bout. Nobody wanted this as the featured fight, and rightly so. It's been knocked back down to the prelims. Joanne Wood is 1-4 in her last 5, and Luana Carolina is coming off a brutal knockout loss to Molly McCann. To be honest, I don't really care who wins this, but I do think Joanne Wood is going to get the win. Then we have Christian Leroy Duncan versus Dusko Tudorovic. Christian Leroy Duncan was the Cage Warriors middleweight champion. He got a spinning back fist KO in November, and now he's in the UFC. Dusko is coming off a KO win over Jordan Wright, but that's nothing to be proud of. Wright isn't even with the UFC anymore. He's been cut because he just got finished again. Duncan can be a bit hittable. He's a bit wild on the feet, but I do think it being his debut at home, he's going to make a big splash and get the win here over Dusko. Then we have Lerone Murphy versus Gabriel Santos. Lerone Murphy was initially supposed to be fighting Nathaniel Wood. Wood had some crazy accident while he was training and slit all of his knee open. Santos was the LFA featherweight champion, and he's making his UFC debut here on very short notice. He fought not too long ago, so he should be in shape. Lerone is 11-0 and really, really good. One of the best British prospects, and I'm not going to pick against him. I think Lerone Murphy is going to get the job done here. Then we have Mokaev versus Jafel Filho. Filho is just coming off a spectacular KO in Dana White's Contender Series. Mokaev has made such a big splash since he's been in the UFC. He was an undefeated 23-0 amateur. He's now undefeated 8-0 as a professional mixed martial artist. He's 31-0 amateur and pro combined. The guy is just incredible for a 22-year-old. Mokaev is 3-0 in the UFC and now ranked number 12 in the flyweight division. This is a huge, huge ask of Filho coming in here and taking on Mokaev as your debut. Mokaev has shown us that his fight IQ can sometimes let him down a little bit. He likes to get a spectacular finish, and sometimes that can make him make the wrong decisions. But even so, I do think he's going to get the win here over Filho. Then we have Sam Patterson taking on Yanal Ashmoz. This is going to be the debut for both of these guys. Sam Patterson is 6'4" as a lightweight. He is absolutely gigantic. Patterson has 4 KOs, 5 submissions, but he is quite hittable. He's got really, really long limbs, which really do help with the submissions. But as I said, he is quite hittable. Yanal Ashmoz is 6-0. He's not fought in about a year. His last win was over somebody in the PFL. He's a very good fighter in his own right. I do think he's going to really struggle with a 6'4" Patterson who's got a 78-inch reach. That's just ridiculous for a lightweight. So I am going to take Sam Patterson to get the win here. Then we have Chris Duncan versus Omar Morales. Duncan is coming off a very impressive win on Dana White's Contender Series. His opponent rocks him and then rushes in to try and get the finish, and then Duncan knocks him clean out. One punch, out cold. Morales is on a 2-fight skid, being finished in both of them. He's also 37, so he's no spring chicken. This is Duncan's UFC debut. He's going to want to come out here and make a big splash in front of the home fans. I'm going to take Chris Duncan to get a KO win over Omar Morales. Then we have Jack Shaw taking on Makwan Amirkhani. Jack Shaw making his featherweight debut. He's 16-1. Picked up the first career loss last time out against Ricky Simon. No shame there at all. Simon is one hell of a fighter. He is taking on Makwan, Mr. Finland, Amirkhani. This is going to be battle of the grapplers. Makwan is generally really dangerous in the first round of his submissions and then just fades. Jack Shaw, on the other hand, has got cardio for days, really good fight IQ. He's such a good grappler. So Makwan, Amirkhani and Jack Shaw. I'm going to take Jack Shaw to win his featherweight debut. Then we have Jennifer Maia taking on Casey O'Neill. Jennifer Maia, ex-title contender, not on the best of form. Casey O'Neill, 9-0. Very, very good prospect. Casey O'Neill has had 4 fights in the UFC and finished 3 of them. She's a natural finisher. She's very vicious on the feet and very excited to watch her fight. Maia is no scrub, but I do think she's a bit past it. Casey O'Neill is coming off a bad knee injury. So I do think it's going to be close, but I'm going to pick Casey O'Neill to get the win. Then we have Marvin Vettori taking on Roman Dolidze. This is going to be a very, very good fight. Marvin Vettori has a head made out of concrete. He's unfinishable. Roman Dolidze has been finishing everybody. Dolidze is a world champion jiu-jitsu artist. Vettori is a very, very talented grappler. Uses his striking a lot more these days than he used to. Dolidze is on a 4-fight win streak with finishes in his last 3 and also got a performance bonus in his last 3. He is on incredible form. Marvin Vettori is coming off that loss to Robert Whittaker. Whittaker absolutely dominated him, but there's no shame there. Whittaker is obviously one of the best middleweights in the world. This is certainly a step up in competition for Dolidze, going from Phil Hawes, Chris Daukaus to Marvin Vettori, ex-title challenger. Dolidze could certainly make something happen on the ground. He's got really tricky submissions, but I just can't imagine a world where Marvin Vettori gets finished. I'm gonna take Marvin Vettori to win a decision here. Then we have Gunnar Nelson versus Bryan Barberena. Gunnar Nelson kind of just fights once a year for the paycheck, if that. Bryan Barberena has fought 2 or 3 times a year in the UFC for the last decade. The guy is so active and he always makes it a dogfight. If you are in a fight with him, he is going to make it dirty. His fights with Robbie Lawler and Matt Brown were incredible. Barberena is stepping in on short notice to replace Daniel Rodriguez. I was initially picking Rodriguez to get the win over Nelson. Barberena stepping in on short notice makes it difficult to pick him, but if the fight goes long and dirty, I do think Barberena is going to get the win. This takes us to our co-main event, Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. This is incredible. This is such a good fight. I can't wait. Gaethje is 23-4. He's 3-2 in his last 5. His 2 losses coming to champions at the time, Charles Oliveira and Khabib Nurmagomedov. So no shame in either one of those losses. He got Fight of the Year with Michael Chandler. He destroyed Tony Ferguson and he finished Donald Cerrone. Fiziev is 12-1. He's on a 6-fight win streak. The guy is just an assassin on the feet. He's one of the most technical strikers we've ever seen in the lightweight division. Gaethje needs to get close, wear on him, use his leg kicks. If he tries to just stand at range, Fiziev is going to destroy him. Going into the fight, Gaethje is a 2-1 dog, and I'm not sure I agree with that. I think it's nearly a pick'em, to be honest. This is a really difficult fight to predict. I am going to take Rafael Fiziev via finish. This takes us to our main event, Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman 3 for the welterweight title. This is massive. This is the biggest fight in British history. Kamaru was on a 9-year, 19-fight unbeaten streak. Leon hasn't lost since he last lost to Usman in 2015. This is just massive. Usman had never been finished on the feet. Leon finishes him with 56 seconds left, taking away his #1 pound-for-pound spot and his world title. This couldn't be bigger. Usman is 35 years old and he's just had a brutal knockout. That could age a fighter overnight. He might not look the same, he might be a bit tentative on the feet, his chin might be gone, we don't know. Naturally, going in, Usman is the favourite, but I am going to pick Leon Edwards to get it done here, and still. They're my quick pick predictions for the full card. Please comment down below, let me know which fight you're looking forward to most, and subscribe if you enjoy MMA content. Thank you so much.